today's video I'm going to be discussing question 2 of the evaluation. Now question 2 consists of how effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary tasks. Now I'm going to be looking at how the text link together and how are they going to get my audience to watch the trailer. So I'm going to be discussing the ways in which and certain aspects I included to make sure that there was some link of continuity within the trailers. So as you can see, I used the same character in terms of the protagonist for both the magazine front cover and the film poster itself. So this can allow the viewer to notice that the two characters are the same, so it's not going to be very complicated, so they're not going to maybe wonder, okay, this film doesn't look anything like it was described or advertised in the magazine, particularly Empire being quite a popular film magazine itself. So given a sense of sort of continuity between the characters used, certain aspects was very important in my case. Now, if you notice, I've included I've included sort of very minimalistic style. Now, this definitely challenges the conventions of the magazine posters and the film poster itself, because you don't actually see minimalist style protagonists or front covers in general. So doing this has definitely challenged the conventions and was quite a risk in terms of doing it as an ancillary task. But upon conducting research, I found that the minimalist style is definitely developing within film advertising and the magazine itself. For example, The Force Awakens, they released loads and loads of different style minimalists posters, like of Boba Fett and of just different characters altogether. And they got a great response, so it's good to see that the minimalist style of advertising for film posters is definitely becoming more popular and will one day become a convention. So developing it has definitely given me the sort of edge to my designs. Now, as I mentioned earlier, certain aspects I've kept the same. So obviously the title at the bottom says Paper Power, and on the magazine front cover, on the poster, it says Paper Power itself. Now, to do this, I did an overlay of the text on money. So this also gives some insight for the viewer of what's going to be included within the film. If you've watched my trailer, you notice that there is lots of money included in the film, so it all makes sense and isn't there just for aesthetics. I've only included relevant aspects which I know the viewer or the person reading the magazine or looking at the front cover is going to appreciate and want to go and see. Also, I've got him in a suit. You can clearly see it as a male. They look exactly the same. So they've got the minimalist style, only the hair and the torso is shown. Now, the suit itself will allow the viewer to sort of develop their own ideas in terms of what the character is going to be like. For example, you might not actually know that at the time he's the criminal. Being the centre of attention, the protagonist usually is usually a hero in terms of binary opposites. So he is the opposite of a hero. He is in fact the villain. Now, obviously, made this look very simple in terms of the magazine, the poster rather. There's no other information apart from the release date and who it is directed by, as well as the name of the film. Now, I think this is very good and helps sort of develop it towards the main film or the main task. This is also very effective in terms of the combination of my main task and ancillary text, as they completely link. I mean, the first thing you're going to notice is the true identity of the character on the front, which turns out to be the gangster, so you'll just instantly know he looks exactly like he does, even if he's in a cartoon minimalist style. And as I want to develop that, I do use the same character in the film as on the trailers. Although there is one more character in the film that I did not include on the poster, I thought that focusing the centre of attention on the protagonist would be most appropriate for the film. I mean, in terms of prop and locations, as I mentioned earlier, the suit is also the same. I couldn't allow for any pictures of the rings or a gun to be shown, as I wanted to only keep it as a torso, because it would just help focus the main attention onto the general appearance of the protagonist. I think this is very effective in terms of making the audience want to watch my film, as there is a sense of continuity. It's not going to confuse the audience, so they're going to maybe want to watch the film. You can only hope that giving them little bits of detail could sort of inspire them and sort of just leave them contemplating, oh, what's the film going to be about? I need to go and watch that film, which is sort of what I wanted to achieve in the first place. As well as the trailer, I didn't want to give out a whole lot of detail, because I think that giving too much detail away can ruin the film itself. I mean, it's been done for many different types of films, where the trailers have actually been better than the film because they just give away too much detail. Now, if you notice, there is sort of some pattern. I give minimal detail, if not any, about from my the magazine and the poster. Then linking to my trailer itself, I gave some detail but didn't explain like a lot of features like the background of the characters, what they were exchanging money for. But you actually notice it's for the card, as was said in the trailer. But you don't know. Also, you don't know the fate of the character that was wounded on the ground, which is a detective. Although there is a clear blood, you don't know whether he is dead or alive. It just leaves the audience wondering, okay, this is the next stage on from the film poster. The film is going to be next. I need to watch the film to find out the fate of the certain characters, and also to develop on how the money was, how he got the money, what is he going to do with the money. So I think this is a very effective approach from both my ancillary tasks to my main task in terms of getting the viewer to want to watch my film.